In our video about Oumuamua, we discussed the possibility of discovering a relic of a long extinct civilization. Also, how the end of mankind could be initiated by a natural disaster or by ourselves. Whereas today, anthropogenic existential risks are more likely than natural risks. In the history of our planet, there have been many mass extinctions, about which we've already made a video, and mankind has faced extinction several times in its 300,000-year history. For example, when the volcano Toba erupted on Sumatra about 74,000 years ago, or 40,000 years ago when there were only about 1,500 people left in Europe in just 5 regions, the largest group of 440 people in the southwest of today's France, as population analyses by genetics show. In this video, we present several scenarios that could lead to the extinction of humanity. Nuclear war. Probably the greatest danger to our survival is ourselves and our warlike nature. Wars are fought for many reasons, but since the nuclear age, the risks are global, as a nuclear war could wipe out the entire human race. The famous scientist and author Carl Sagan once said,
"Every thinking person fears nuclear war, and every technological nation plans for it. Everyone knows it's madness, and every country has an excuse."
It would probably be wise for the survival of our species to drastically reduce the number of nuclear warheads or to do without weapons of mass destruction altogether. Pandemic bioweapons. In the history of mankind, there have been many deadly diseases, from the plague to the Spanish flu. Diseases have caused millions of deaths. In the Siberian permafrost, even a dangerous primeval virus could lurk, locked in the ice for thousands of years, and is now being released by the Earth warming. There's also the danger of mutation of a known virus. Bacteria, on the other hand, are now under control thanks to the development of antibiotics. Although antibiotic residences pose a serious threat to the future. A deadly pathogen could even be produced artificially in the laboratory and spread by terrorists. Asteroid impact. The Earth has been hit several times in its history by rocks from space, and numerous craters bear witness to these events. These have dealt a blow to life on Earth more than once. The dinosaurs, which dominated our planet for a long time, fell victim to such an event. Gamma ray burst. The danger posed by a gamma ray burst is relatively new, as they were only discovered by the Vela satellites in 1967, when they were actually looking for secret Soviet nuclear weapons tests. Gamma rays are extremely energetic, and a gamma ray burst is the most energetic event known in the universe. This is the birth cry of a black hole. If such an event occurred only a few light years from our solar system and hit the Earth, the ozone layer would be destroyed within a fraction of a second. Thus, the UV radiation of the sun could damage life on Earth lastingly. AI. For Elon Musk, the greatest existential threat to our survival is artificial intelligence. It could decide that humanity is superfluous and wipe us out. The theoretical point at which an artificial intelligence grows and acts uncontrolled is called the technological singularity. Already today, there are autonomous weapon systems and a certain autonomy for artificial systems which, for example, recharge themselves. Just last week, a Google engineer went public with the claim that their in-house artificial intelligence had developed a consciousness. Extreme solar flare. The Earth has been hit by solar flares before, but nowadays a geomagnetic storm would be a serious matter in our technological world. During a solar maximum, a solar coronal mass ejection, CME, i.e. electrically charged particles, could hit the Earth's magnetic field, not only damaging our satellites in Earth's orbit, but also causing power outages on the Earth's surface. The largest recorded geomagnetic storm was the Carrington event in September 1859, where telegraph lines began to glow and cause fires. Most recently, in 1989, a geomagnetic storm caused power outages in Canada in the so-called Quebec blackout, which induced massive currents in overhead power lines and caused connected transformer stations to fail. As recently as February 2022, a solar storm destroyed 40 SpaceX Starlink satellites. Supervolcanic eruption. In a supervolcanic eruption, lava would not be the main problem. Similar to a nuclear war, a supervolcano eruption would cause a hulling of the atmosphere, a so-called volcanic winter, in which a cloud of ash could envelop the entire planet and cut it off from sunlight. Under the Yellowstone National Park slumbers such a volcano, which has erupted at least 3 times in the last 2.1 million years and could erupt again at any time. Alien invasion. A classic alien invasion is a successful scenario at the box office, but not necessarily realistic. All the raw materials that exist on Earth exist elsewhere in the solar system or universe, and any alien civilization advanced enough to travel interstellar could mine asteroids and comets more easily than deal with unruly inhabitants of a planet. However, it could be so ruthless to harvest the energy of a star through a Dyson sphere, and thus condemn living beings on a planet around that star. Scientific accident. Scientific discoveries have led to an enormous improvement in the quality of life. However, an accident could also occur, and a black hole, for example, could be created in a laboratory, or a matter-antimatter reaction, i.e. a huge explosion, could occur during the research of antimatter in a particle accelerator. Climate change. The climate on Earth is subject to large fluctuations. However, this could come from our actions from the balance, and we could destroy our own basis of life. Because of this, the sea levels will rise, famine will be triggered, and extreme weather phenomena will increase. If parts of the Earth become uninhabitable, this could cause a collapse of civilization. Thank you very much for your attention. We hope you enjoyed the video and understand how important manned spaceflight is for the survival of our species.